We only pursue a dream. No one really lives on Earth because we live in an illusion. The creation of this illusory reality is due to Teskatlipoka, because it's our interpretation that gives meaning to what we see or decode in frequencies. Teskatlipoka is the perception energy, is the force of the Nawali, the totality, is the self-stalking, like the jaguar, thus is the inner vision. The human eye can only see 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum of light. That means that we don't see the remaining 99% around us. The increase in the frequencies of the internal resonance of the heart and the planet expands these limits. That is why this marketing of device technology sell us cameras, telescopes, and limited microscopes, so that these tools do not assist us discovering what really surrounds us. Our perception is limited because our means of interpretation are distorted or divided by high physical intoxication, technology, and by the false egos or masks that we create throughout our lives, and that they are the fumes of the mirror that we must begin to identify and thus clean them progressively. Perception is compared to an obsidian mirror, which is the ability of living beings to reflect the matrix world that surrounds us, the tonali. More polished and clean our mirror is, without mind or emotions, better the image. It's about seeing life through the sensation of feeling, but not through interpretation. It's seen from the experience, but not from beliefs, and for that, mental silence is required, without external and internal noise. The clearer the reflection is, more you will be in your essence. This is the flourish state, Xochimilquistli, to be reborn in inspiration and essence. Life is a mirror. It's a reflection of your inner world. So ask yourself daily, what image do I want to reflect? The mind represents our deepest thoughts and programming, also called incepts. It's an artificial graft of the physical body that functions as an antenna of the astral plane, which uses the brain as receptor to capture the signals of external programs emitted from the astral plane and thus manipulate the physical body. That's why the astrology. The mind is the instrument of light, electricity, that creates the illusion of the life. Mente means mind in Spanish, and mente comes from Latin mentis, mentira. That means lie. It's the duality that traps us with its false light and drives us through electrical impulses called emotions, energy in motion. In our Toltec teachings, it was said that the predator implanted its mind in us to make us believe its game. Thus, the whole mind is a mist that the Toltecs call mitotilistli or mitot. The mind is the dream in which thousands of people speak at the same time and no one understands anyone. This is the condition of the human mind, a great mitotl, and thus it's impossible to see what we really are. In India, they call it Maya, which means illusion. is the false concept of I am. Everything we believe about ourselves and the world, and the concepts and programs that we have in mind. All of that is the mitotilisti, the dance of life. With the mind in action, it's impossible for us to see who we really are. It's impossible for us to see that we are not free, since we are prisoners of our beliefs, dogmas, and paradigms. And the smoke or veils are responsible for blinding us and obscuring our personal mirror. Our eyes that are the mirror of the soul, as well as our heart, which will be a metaphor for the crystal that we are, which resonates and shines. Matter is a mirror. Everything is a mirror that reflects light and creates images of that light. And the world of illusion, the dream, it's just like a smoke that prevents us from seeing who we really are. What we really are is pure love. That is resonance, magnetism. This discovery will change your life when you become aware of it. Once you know what you really are, you can look around you and see other human beings and the rest of nature with another focus, and you will be amazed at what you see. You will see yourself reflected in everything, in each human being, in each animal, in each tree, in water, in rain, in clouds, on the earth, because we are fractals, harmonic frequencies of the source, the essence. Thus, you will discover that your life mixes the tonali and the nawali, the visible light and the totality, the whole, in different ways to create millions of manifestations of life. You will discover that you are a mirror for others, a mirror in which you can see yourself. Matter is a mirror. Everything is a mirror that reflects light and creates images of that light. And the world of illusion, the dream, is just like a smoke that prevents us from seeing who we really are. Therefore, what you see and hear right now is nothing more than a dream. At this very moment, you are dreaming. You dream with your brain awake. Dreaming is the main function of the mind, and the mind dreams 24 hours a day. Dreams when the brain is awake, and also when it's asleep. The difference is that when the brain is awake, there is a material framework that makes us perceive things in a linear way. When we sleep, we don't have that frame, and sleep tends to change constantly. Human beings dream all the time. Before we were born, those who precede us created a huge external dream that we will call it the dream of society or the dream of the planet. The dream of the planet is the collective dream made of billions of smaller dreams, also called egregories, coming from dreams of our personal thoughts that together create a dream of a family, a dream of a community, a dream of a city, a dream of a country, and finally, a dream of all humanity. The dream of the planet includes all the rules of society, its beliefs, its laws, its religions, its different cultures and ways of being, its governments, its schools, its social events, and its celebrations. We are born with the ability to learn to dream, and the human beings who precede us teach us to dream in the way that society does. The external dream has so many rules that when a child is born, we grab his attention to introduce these rules into his mind. The other dream uses mom and dad, school, and religion to teach us to dream. Attention is the ability we have to discern and focus that on what we want to perceive. We perceive millions of things at the same time, but we use our attention to keep what interests us in the foreground of our mind. The adults around us capture our attention, and through repetition, fed information into our minds. This is how we learned everything we know. In this way, we domesticate children in the same way that we domesticate a dog, a cat, or any other animal. To teach a dog, we punished and rewarded it. We train our children, whom we love so much, in the same way we train any domestic animal, with a system of rewards and punishments. They told us, "You're a good boy, you're a good girl," when we did that mom and dad wanted us to do. When we didn't, we were a bad girl or a bad boy. Domestication is so powerful that at a certain point in our life, we no longer need to be domesticated by anyone. We don't need mom or dad, school, government, or church to tame us. We are so well trained that we are our own trainer. We are self-domesticated animals. Now we domesticate ourselves according to the belief system that was passed on to us, and using the same system of punishment and reward. We punish ourselves when we don't follow the rules of our belief system. Now, there is also another part of us that receives the judgments, and we call that part the victim. The victim carries guilt, blame, and shame. It's that part of us that says, "Poor me, I'm not good enough, not smart, not attractive, and I don't deserve to be loved. Poor me." The great judge recognizes and says, "Yes, you are not worth enough." And all of this is based on a belief system that we never choose to believe. And the system is so strong that even years after coming into contact with new concepts and trying to make our own decisions, we realize that those beliefs still control our lives. Anything that goes against the book of the law will cause us to feel a strange sensation in the solar plexus, vortex that draws out that emotional energy. And it's a sensation called fear. Breaking the rules of the book of law opens our emotion wounds, and we react by creating emotional poison. Since everything in the book of life has to be true, whatever you put in question, what we believe, make us feel insecure. Even if the book of the law is wrong, it makes us feel safe. The external dream captures our attention and teaches us what to believe. You didn't choose your language, your religion, or your moral values. They were already there before you were born. This is the process of the domestication of human beings. Through it, we learn to live and dream. In human domestication, information from the external dream is transferred to the internal subconscious dream and creates our entire belief system. We never have a chance to choose what to believe and what not to believe. We never choose even the most insignificant of these agreements. We didn't even choose our own name, but we agreed with information that other human beings transmitted to us from the dream of the planet. Due to these imposed beliefs of programming, we dishonor ourselves just to please other people. We even damage our bodies so that others will accept us. Now it's normal to see teenagers taking drugs for the sole purpose of not being rejected by other teenagers. They are not aware that the problem is that they don't accept themselves. They are rejected because they are not what they pretend to be. They want to be in a certain way, but they are not. And this leaves them feeling guilty and ashamed. We humans punish ourselves endlessly for not being the way we think we should be. We mistreat ourselves and we use other people to mistreat us. But nobody mistreats us more than ourselves. The judge, the victim, and the belief system are what lead us to do it. This is the reason why human beings resist life. Being alive is our biggest fear. It's not death. Our greatest fear is risking being alive and expressing who we really are. We have learned to live trying to satisfy the demands of other people. We have learned to live by the views of others for fear of not being accepted and not being good enough for other people. For these reasons, it's necessary to empty yourself of the old, so that you can fill yourself with the new. And what is the new? Well, whatever you decide to be, based on your experiences, and living from the heart and not from the mind. It's making the decision to kill being false, irrational, and emotional forever, through what we toltecs call Xochimilquistli, the flourished death. Thus, entering the most primitive state of pure consciousness first, to clearly identify without fumes what needs to change, and then put Chipawa, the power of will, to generate change through your daily actions, to turn your life into a pure art of real expression that is handled with the coherence of your heart, being appealing or firm with your decision to transform yourself every day. In this way, you will transform into a toltec. Human beings of their own experience, who take everything out of their heart, becoming clear mirrors, crystal beings, who resonate in love, which reflect with their example. That coherence is what they feel in their words and in their actions to others, spreading that joy of living and being magicians of their own life, being responsible for their co-created power in order to generate their own reality, so that their soul take back control of your earthly physical transportation, your physical body, non a coyote, because it has eliminated the fumes and illusions, emotions, programs, toxins, and parasites derived from the mind of Matrix, where through self-sacrifice the larvatic body is neutralized, which is the parasite that has taken control of the physical and astral body, becoming body carriers or zombies, both of astral larvatic and physical parasites, thus flourishing the virtuous and original senses to be able to see reality beyond illusion without any interference. The Toltec doctrine affirms that everything comes from Ometeotl, the cosmic energy, and to Ometeotl it returns. Ometeotl is not a personal entity, but an impersonal creative potential. There is no God or gods except within the human mind, the trap of illusion. Ometeotl is unique in essence, dual in manifestation, and triple in action. Its active aspect has a creative, consciousness, and volitional nature. Ometeotl manifests itself as an organizational impulse in conflict with the assault of chaos. Such tension creates the primordial plurality called Nawali Tonali. As a reflection of Ometeotl, the universe and each of its beings are organized according to the principle of polarity and show some degree of will, consciousness, and creative capacity. Become a Toltec through the Toltecayot practice. Toltecayot is the art of living in balance through awareness, responsibility, and unyielding will. In this way, the Toltec warrior, training himself through the flourish world, stocking himself all the time, and using the intent as weapon, seeking to balance his Quetzal spirit with his Coat matter, through work, through his own experience, and consulting everything with his resonant heart. The Toltec is a clean, clear, and honest mirror on both sides. He is the ink, the codex, since he is writing and wisdom. He is the path and is true guide for others through reflecting in his mirror coherence, in his example of life, since he possesses the wisdom of his own experience and transmits it with love to others. Follows the truth, is a reflection of your inner teacher, is also careful, respects his body, and honors nature, doesn't pass above things. The Toltec stops, reflects, and watches. A Toltec is an artist of love, an artist of the spirit, connection, someone who is flexible like water, is restless, capable, drains himself, manages his energy through the heart, and empties himself of all belief to experience life consciously, in order to enter into resonance and pure coherence, and at every moment, in every second, createst the most beautiful art, the art of daydreaming. We are artists, brothers and sisters. So start to create your life with love, and your dream will become a masterpiece of art. Ometeotl.